creators, be very, very careful. Only use the studio music. And
I was like, just well, good morning, people. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Sally. Good morning, my beautiful Sally. How are you doing this morning? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see here. Or it's actually afternoon, May 7th. May 7th. How's it going? I hope everybody's doing okay today. I hope everybody's doing okay. Wanted to come in this afternoon and say hello and watch some video that was sent to me yesterday and just get going. I'm just getting going with my coffee and stuff. I had some stuff to do this morning and just getting going. So, where is everybody at? Somebody live this morning? I didn't even check and see. How rude of me. How rude. I'm doing good, Sally. I'm doing good. Good morning. I'm sitting here drinking my coffee. Hey, I see you. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. I'm in here getting my coffee this morning. I was so rude. I didn't even check and see if anybody was live. I was outside. I was listening to Betty this morning, and I was outside for, I don't know, about an hour or something. And it looks like it's going to rain here. I don't know, but I was getting me some fresh air in before it does. I hope it don't. I thought I might get out and about today. I don't know. Thought I might get some stuff done on the outside. Who knows? Who knows? I was looking at a story that Randall actually sent me, Randall Thomas, and I was like, ooh. So I thought it'd be interesting to watch. It's disturbing. We don't know where our children are safe anymore and all that. You didn't see anyone that mastered me? Oh, thank you. Thank you. That mattered. Hey, Cinderella. Good morning. Good afternoon. Some people, I guess it's night, wherever they're at. My goodness. We don't even know anymore. The funny part is, even where I'm at, you just go a hop, skip, and a jump, and it's actually an hour ahead. It's so weird. I wish everybody was on the same time. Hey, Holly. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Love you, girl. Good morning. Hey, hey. What y'all doing? What's everybody doing? Y'all got any good plans for today? I seen Justin was going to pick up the little girl and boy, Lily and Jack, is it Jack? God, I hate to get their names wrong. This afternoon. So make sure y'all go watch Justin Clutch Them Pearls today or this evening. I see you can drop his link. I know that y'all all in here right now know where he's at, but drop his link. I'm so glad he's picking up that case. This morning, I didn't see, just FYI, I didn't see any new updates, but I was catching up on that. And I'll be doing a live again later just to touch up on them. There's some weird stuff going on there. I'm just telling y'all. I hear now they had a fenced yard. I mean, I know it's big and huge. I didn't see the fence. I was also watching Grizzly True Crime, and as she was reading They have a fence. Them kids got out the fence as well. Besides the sliding glass door. Isn't that weird? I don't know, y'all. Playing in the dirt. Gardening, prepping. I need to get out there and pull some weeds around my flowers. Oh, there's a press conference at 2. Oh, my God. Oh, Danielle. Oh, press conference at 2. So sad, man. Little kids. Oh, y'all are going to hear Happy. She's over there snoring. Look, she's getting old. Y'all are going to hear her snoring everywhere, no matter where I go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Well, since there might be some updates, I don't know. I just, press conference make me nervous. Django, hey. I think parents should use some kind of track. Yeah. Somebody, I think it was Robin, is trying to get some of that worked on because, what happened to her little girl and stuff. I think parents should use some kind of trackers, maybe in the shoes. Shark Tank, let's invent. Yeah, exactly. Don't y'all find it strange, too, that the little boy, they said, just had on boots? Look, and now I'm hearing that the parents was asleep. So how do they know what the kids had on? Isn't that red flags? Holly said, it seems like Chris Proudfoot wants to go on YouTube and trash talk creators, but won't give much information about Sebastian. Yeah, Holly, I heard that as well. Did you hear the clip? I think I shared it, and it said, he said, no, we're not talking about Sebastian right now. We're talking about Bullhorn Betty. What? So she can't talk about him or go around him, and they're dragging her to court, but he can go on panels and just go, no, we're not talking about my missing stepson, but we can talk about Bullhorn Betty. Let's get back to Bullhorn Betty. What? No, Roxy, they haven't, but I hear they're giving a press conference at 2. That's never good. I'm nervously waiting that too. Oh, really? Really? People was telling me to look the dad up because I was having trouble yesterday. I'm not having trouble now. I have all kinds of video lined up. And yes, they don't look like they do in the pictures I was showing yesterday. And yes, he looks like he's on that Matthew Mass stuff. I'm just saying. Yep. In the last couple of years that he's been with her, the teeth is all gone and all the things. Yep. So sad. So sad. But what I wanted to talk about today, I don't know where everybody's at. They can rewind. Since this press conference is coming out, I don't want to keep y'all all day because I do want to watch something here. Randall Thomas sent it to me, like I said, a day or so ago. And I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about, is your children safe anywhere? Well, we know your children are not safe even at home. So we definitely need to protect our children, protect them at all costs, no matter what age they are. This will be triggering, so y'all put up some trigger warnings. You may want to watch when I go to play the video at your own risk. This is really disturbing. We're going to watch this interrogation of, y'all may have heard of this case, Terry McFadden. But let me give you a little rundown of this. Terry J. McFadden, he pleaded guilty of 2 counts of RAPE for the assaults of these little girls. They were sisters, 4 and 6 years old. When they revealed the abuse to their parents, and this was a 70-year-old Grandview Heights man. Okay, him and his wife operated this daycare out of their house. This judge was Julie M. Lynch. And after the parents of the little girls give this long statement in court, the judge said, "This is so sick. And she is tired of seeing adults ruin and abuse children." The judge described the children as one step from being babies. She was pissed. This judge was. Thank you, YouTuber. She was so pissed. I mean, you could see it in her. And she said, "You can't know." And I'm glad this judge spoke up. I'm so glad. She said, "You can't know what damage you've done." She called his actions just mind-boggling, right? So in this civil suit filed by the parents against the McFaddens, the sexual adults began after Mr. McFadden took an active role in this home daycare, right? That was in 2017. The abuse consisted of McFadden repeatedly touching the girl's private parts, and he did admit those facts to the police. You'll see that. He admitted it. He thought he wasn't doing wrong. He was like, maybe I just need to go home and tell my wife. I mean, are you serious right now? And he did admit those facts. He admitted all that when he was interviewed. Grandview Heights Police Department interviewed him. Okay, some people was saying like, I can't believe they only gave him this much time, XYZ, because I was reading all this. But he's 70 years old. He'll never see the likes of day. He'll die in there. He will, in my opinion, if somebody don't mop him up on the floor like they did Jeffrey Dahmer, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. But he is not eligible for early release. Even if he lives long enough, he will have to be registered as a sex offender every 90 days for the rest of his life. Abusers always usually blame the victims. And y'all have noticed that out here on these streets, right? They have a way to manipulate. They try to avoid all responsibility. I hurt you because you hurt me. I hurt you because you made me mad. Or you're special. You're special. You deserve this. Or you're the special one. Look, abusers are sick. They cannot be fixed. I don't care who they are. They cannot be rehabilitated. They cannot be fixed. And that's the bottom line. They don't want the victim to have a separate life from them. I don't know if anybody, I put that the Amber movie out the other day in my members only. The only reason I did that, I can't play it for y'all, but I wanted y'all to see it. It wasn't anything about being a member or not. It was just, I put it out. I put a bunch of Amber alerts, how they come out, this, that, and the other. Just wanted it easy for y'all to find. That, you know, just sick. Just sick. That man made me sick. Sick. When they blame the victim, it's a way to dominate and deflect. You know? And y'all got to remember, these these people who abuse, they may look like they're very normal people. Remember in the Summer Wells case, there was that doctor. Remember, they are normal people. They're doctors. They're listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something that happened to me one time. I was pregnant with my third child, and I went to a regular doctor's visit. Regular. And I had a internal medicine doctor wanted to see if I was, put his hand there and see if I was down. That was not his job. I never went back to him again. That was uncomfortable. That was not his job. That's not why I even went to the doctor. What? These people are pedophiles. They're doctors. They're lawyers. They're your neighbors that you don't know. They're your family members. These people look normal. You sit beside them every day at work. I mean, really? And people want to leave their children there. Yeah, how creepy. How creepy. They're teachers. Teachers. They look normal. They dress in normal clothes. They make me sick. They make me sick. They look very normal. Some of the ones we judge and say, ooh, they look like a creep. Ooh, they look like they wouldn't harm a flea. They wouldn't harm a flea. Trust and believe. Some of them might. Not all. You can't judge a book by its cover. And that, my dear friends, should worry us all. It should worry us all. People should know the signs of grooming. Offenders or people trying to groom select their potential victims. They prepare for the abuse, unfortunately. It's called grooming. Some of the most recognized things is having the opportunity. Having the opportunity to be alone with a child. Touching, tickling, wrestling. And I'm not saying all, but that is signs. Trying to be friends with a child. Adults have no reason to be friends with a child. Exactly, YouTuber. Exactly. Don't let your child see a doctor without your presence. You don't have to. There's dentists sometimes that say your child can't go back with you. Well, then your child don't need to be going to that dentist. I'm sorry. Your child's a minor. If you can't go back, then take your child elsewhere. Period. Sorry. Sorry. Special gifts, treats, a deep connection with the child. Yeah, true. Very true. Trips. There's some parents that just let their kids go on trips with adults. What? sexual jokes to a child, the secrecy. And that's just some of the things. And by all means, if a child pulls away and feels uncomfortable, even if it's your friend, that don't mean anything's going on, but don't make your child continue. Don't make your child feel wrong about pulling away. Your child has senses. Don't make your child feel wrong for pulling away. Don't make your child feel embarrassed or feel wrong for not wanting someone to touch them. Put your child first. Put their feelings first. Just don't ever make your child feel uncomfortable. And always believe your child over anybody else. That's just some things that you can do to protect your child. I do want to watch this with y'all. Let me get this. It is some trigger warnings. Crime Cracked put this out. Again, it was sent to me. I want to put some music on. Let me definitely do that. Y'all go over and sub up to this channel. I want to watch this under fair use. We will talk about it and commentate on it. Is that music too loud? Let me see. Hold on. Turn it down a little bit. Crime Cracked. Again, go over. Yeah, don't allow your child to go away for sleepovers. Have them in your home. Yeah, this is not like 30 years ago. Have them in your home. Supervise. You supervise. And now we're in a world. Look up. Make sure these people don't have abuse records and stuff like that. I mean, we wouldn't have thought about doing that 10 years ago. God, I hate to see it when my grandkids get older. You have to do these things. You have to. But they should be your number one priority. But trigger warning on this. Trigger warning. I can't say it enough. But I saw this. I watched every bit of it. And I said, it's disturbing, but this needs to be seen. I guess people thought, my God, these are older people. See, when people see older people like this, grandparents, this is a grandparent's home. Like, this is real elderly people. This is, this is, hey, this is, they're, I don't know. They wouldn't hurt a fly. I got 6 grandkids. I just try to keep myself up. I try to keep going. I try to keep young. Yes, I'm elderly too. Some people might look at me and say, oh, you don't look like a grandmother. Okay. But I am, I am. And somebody comes trying to abuse me, you're going to get it for elderly abuse on top of everything else. Just saying. But then you get somebody beside me that's 70 years old and looks like these people and little old people, or Candace's mom, little old lady, that little old lady, oh, Smiley's abusing them. No, I'm not. But I'm just saying. You look at the difference in us. I'm just saying. Yeah, age is irrelevant. Looks are irrelevant. People would say, oh, them kids are going to be safe there. No. I'm fixing to show you what's fixing to happen there. Fixing to show you. So let's get on with it. Uh-oh. Hold on. Wait a minute. What? Share screen? What the hell's going on here? Hold on a minute.
For sexual gratification, you violated a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old.
In 2019, a parent's world crumbled when their 4-year-old child was rushed to the hospital with injuries no child should ever bear. What should have been a routine visit turned into a nightmare as doctors uncovered the horrifying truth. The child had been sexually abused.
This board is so sick and tired of seeing adults ruin and abuse children. These are literally just one step from being babies.
With tears in her eyes, the mother pieced together the only moments her child had been out of her sight. Time spent under the care of their trusted babysitter. As the investigation intensified, law enforcement zeroed in on the sole man living at the babysitter's home, a figure shrouded in suspicion. On the day the mother delivered the news that her child was too ill to visit, the stage was set for a confrontation that would peel back the layers of deceit and reveal a darkness hidden in plain sight. This is the interrogation, a tense battle for truth, where every word could mean justice for an innocent child or the escape of a predator.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, you're very welcome. Just before we start, just to let you know, you are not under arrest. You're free to go at any point. The door is only shut behind us for noise purposes because there's some locker rooms right here, so a lot of people in and out all the time, okay?
All right. Your names again?
Skurlock. Yep, and this is Drew Baker. Yep.
Drew Baker?
Zach Drew. You can call us first name.
Both of you with Grandview?
Yep, we're both with Grandview. Normally we're dressed up, but yes, we're both detectives. We were working on a different, separate case today that required us to dress down, so normally we're a little bit more professional looking, so.
Unmarked. Unmarked SUV there.
Yeah. So, just so we're clear, you understand that? You're not under arrest. You're free to go at any point. You understand?
Okay.
Okay, all right. So, before we start, I just want to get some basic information on who you lived there with there at 795, okay? From my understanding, your wife's name is Carol, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So you live with Carol?
With Carol.
Okay. And how long you guys been married?
35? Well, let me see, 82 it would be, so do the math here.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay, all right, 35 plus.
35 plus, yeah.
Okay, all right. And do you have a cell phone, sir?
I do.
What's your cell? I don't need it, just your cell phone number, that's all.
You know, I didn't bring it with me, dang it, and I don't know the cell phone number. I always have to look it up.
Do you guys have a house number?
We do, 614-299-6539.
Okay. And it's just you and your wife here.
Just me and my wife.
Okay.
Yes, and a cat.
I'm sorry?
And a cat.
Okay.
And our daughters are grown, as I say.
Okay. So nobody else stays there permanently, and from my understanding, your wife watches numerous children throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We do, and I do help her with that.
Okay. Is
various duties like lunch duty, we were just taking care of there.
Okay.
So.
Just making lunch pretty much and providing it to the kids and whatnot?
And just, just sort of wrangling the kids.
Okay.
And
How many typically are at the house?
well, we currently have 4.
4 total?
4 total. There were 2 today. And there's one little girl and her little brother. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how old?
He thinks he's
Are?
funny.
Just one.
Okay.
A little over 1. And is 3. I think she's 3.
3.
She'll be 4 later on this year.
Okay.
And then the other 2 kids we usually watch are who is 4, turning 5 in May,
Okay.
and her little brother,
Okay.
who is, I think he's 3.
3. Okay.
I think he's 3 now. Yes.
Okay. No other children?
And
at
no
all?
other children.
No other children you guys watch? Okay. All right. So, just to be upfront with you, what Children's Services forwarded us is a report, and it's regarding the, how did you say that last? It's regarding a, and her sister.
She comes occasionally.
Okay.
Used to be a
Not
full-time,
full-time?
and then, no, she's in school.
Okay.
She's
How old is
a
she?
first grader, so she must be, I think she just turned 7. She just had a birthday.
Okay.
And she comes on occasion
Okay.
when there's a day off from school.
Okay. How would you describe your relationship with her parents?
With her parents?
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
With all the parents.
Have you known them a while?
We've known them since I started coming as a baby.
Okay, so
And
over
then-
7 years then?
So we inherited the other 2 kids, as it were, and yes,
Okay.
are really nice people. And,
Okay. You guys know them pretty well?
hmm
Okay.
I mean, not outside the business. We've gone to birthday parties that they've had, or the other people have had. There was another boy named that we used to babysit for her. His mom is a stay-at-home mom. I'm not sure. But they're family friends of the. So anyway, they've had birthday parties. So, but beyond that,
Okay.
it was just.
How would you describe your day-to-day interaction with the children? I mean, is it your wife? She's the one who's interacting with the children, and are you separate, or do you help? I know you said you helped out, but I mean, in what way?
I help. Well, let me see. Like I said, one big thing is getting lunches together and eating lunch. But I interact with the kids, watch them because after lunch there's a routine where Carol takes each one upstairs to nap. And so that leaves the other ones downstairs, and I have to make sure that they are behaving themselves.
Okay.
Because they all tend to get rather rambunctious, of course, especially the little one. He gets into everything. So
Okay.
I watch them all to make sure that.
Does she take naps?
She doesn't go upstairs and take naps. She lays down on the couch sometimes. We try to get her to lay down on the couch. She doesn't want to go upstairs, which is fine. She figures she's older. She's the oldest of the group.
Terry shared that his wife's name is Carol, and they've been happily married for about 35 years. He gave their home phone number and mentioned they have 2 adult daughters. Right now, though, they're taking care of 4 young kids, ages 1 to 5, during the day. Terry and Carol are closely involved in looking after the kids, and they've known the parents for several years, so the relationship is friendly and familiar. To help Terry open up, the detectives started with some light conversation. Terry talked about his daily routine with the kids. He helps make lunch, keeps them in line afterward, and gets them ready for naps. Sometimes the oldest likes to nap on the couch instead of the bed.
She's older. She's the oldest of the group.
Okay.
And so she lays down and watches TV.
Okay. What about your interaction with? I know you said that she doesn't go there very often.
Just occasionally.
What's occasionally? Just a rough estimate.
Okay, well, sometimes her mom can't pick her up after school, so I pick her up after school, and she comes to our house for about an hour until
And that.
her dad.
Okay.
Sometimes if a school has a snow day, she'll come and stay with us, or there was a teacher day that she stayed with us one whole day. So again, she's we just and she's one of the kids.
Does she go to preschool at all?
She goes to preschool.
Do you take her to preschool, or does your wife?
I pick her up at preschool. Her mom takes her in the morning.
What time do you pick her up?
It's about 11:30.
Every day?
No, the routine is
He picks her up. That should be a no-no right there. That gives him time with her alone, in my opinion. This is the most disgusting interview ever. But these are just some signs, right? And he does try to appear normal. You can tell he's a little bit nervous. But what he's going to do is, this is fixing to get deep. That cop's just giving him some light questions. But he's going to admit what he does. It's very disturbing and trigger warning. But he goes and picks up. Listen, if they can't, I don't get it. I don't get it. He should never be giving them a bath. He should never be left alone, taking them anywhere. You know, they should go together. This is crazy. Yeah, the wife just must have a complete blind eye to this. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Let's carry on. This is disgusting.
Mondays and Wednesdays, her mom picks her up because can both go. There's a Trinity preschool in Trinity, Memphis. But then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I pick her up at 11:30 and bring her back for lunch.
Okay.
And they have preschool those days.
Okay. And your interaction with are always pretty good. Decent kids. You enjoy.
Good kids, yes, they do. Like I said, they're a little wired.
Mm-hmm. You want to know why?
Wired and active.
In my opinion, because they're just like these.
Calm them down.
Some of them are come to find out like that. Either their family members are,
with other kids,
or they are.
Especially we sometimes have to discipline her.
Does she have any daily activities that she likes to do, like games she plays or anything like that?
We do a variety of things at the house. Sometimes there's toys. We have one whole room with lots of toys, and she likes to just on her own gather. Well, there's stuffed animals that she likes to play with. There's a box of she calls little things that we keep up on a top shelf because the littlest one, we don't want him getting into them. But when she says, I'm going to play with little things, we pull them down off the shelf and place them on the table. She likes, she sometimes likes to paint or color, and Carol mostly will print out pictures from the internet and she likes to do that. She likes to, as I say, we have lots of things to play with, big cardboard blocks for the kids, or Legos, or some big couch pillows from an old couch. They love to, make things with that. That's just in the house. And outdoors, of course, they can. Okay. We have playground, swing, and a sandbox, and slides.
Okay. What about computer games? Do you guys play?
And they can play computer games too. Yes.
Is it a desktop or a laptop computer?
Well, we have a desktop.
Okay.
And we can do what's it? Either ABC Mouse or Nick Jr. or those are some websites with there's some games that they.
Are they allowed to play on their own?
And well, we set them up.
Okay.
And we watch them.
What do you mean by that? You set them up?
Well, we have to look up the account. We have to actually
pull up the account.
Pull up the account and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And they'll sit down there. Good enough. Yeah, we can just turn her loose and say, okay. Yeah. And can do it mostly. We we have to be around. Sometimes she has trouble with the game, so we have to play with her. It isn't quite up to it yet, but she's learning on the computer games. So yeah, they like to play computer too. Yeah.
So, do you have any idea what this is about? What any type of allegation there would be that we would be here needing to talk to you?
I'd rather you tell me.
Do you have an idea though?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's a complaint from the Lapivas, perhaps.
Okay. No, what the nature of the complaint would be? Do you
The
have any
nature
idea
of the
that
complaint.
something happened that you remember or anything like that? Do you know?
I'd rather you told me what the complaint was.
Okay. The complaint is sexual in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can tell that. Did you expect me to say that? Because it kind of seemed like it. This is time to get it all out there. Just tell us what happened so we can follow up accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I know. Just most recently, Friday, when Jen came up in to pick up, she was naked from the waist down, which she had just taken off her pants, which again, kids that age sometimes do. And then she started running around naked, so we found her underwear over here and her pants over there, and her mom put them back on her. So she saw her running around naked. Before that, we had been sitting on the couch, and she had been climbing all over me, just as a game that she climbed up behind me and then went over, just rolled over, like gymnastics kind of a thing, and onto the floor, and then rolled over and did that again. It was also Friday before that.
Okay.
But we did that for a bunch of times. I was just sort of sitting there going, oh, we stop. And then suddenly she pulled her pants down and did that. So, come on, put your pants back on. So put the pants back on. And then suddenly, she took them off all together. And so we stopped playing that game. And I got up and walked around, but it was about that time that her mom came.
Okay.
I don't think her mom saw us playing that game, I hope.
Okay.
But that might have been.
Oh, snap. My mic was muted. YouTuber, I said, bullshit's right. Listen, you don't blame a kid, but if this was a time to go pop on the butt, okay. And yeah, 4-year-olds don't normally take their pants off. But if it was a one-time thing or an accident, look, I ain't saying this ain't no accident, but you know what I'm saying. If this was a time to go, oh my God, what are you doing? Pop on the butt. Call the mom. Look, you got a problem or something. This man is bullshit. Bullshit. No, no, no. See, that's right, Holly. They blame the kids. They blame the victim. Isn't that what I just told y'all earlier? Oh my God. See? This is what I'm saying. We're going to carry on because this man gets worse and worse and worse. And things keep happening and happening and happening. He didn't stop there. The kid, as he said, didn't stop there. This is not the kid's fault. Okay? What? A child come on to this man? Are you kidding me? Right, D. Lucky. Here we go. Trigger warning, y'all. Trigger warning. This is so disturbing. This is the most disturbing interview I believe I have ever saw. Somebody needs to whack him. I'm just saying. Oh.
And something that she saw. No, you know.
Is there anything else?
No, person is really a touchy-feely,
And
cuddly kind of a kid.
Mhm.
And she always wants to
green eyes.
climb on me, and she wants me to hold her or pick her up, you know, and carry her around. So I do that, you know. I don't, and so, or she'll, you know, play on me as we're sitting on the couch and on my lap and whatever. Or sometimes try to get her to quiet down. I just hold her on my lap and cuddle.
Okay.
Just
Would she be clothed?
and she's clothed, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, always clothed, but just cuddling. We do cuddle close.
Okay.
And sitting on the couch, I don't know.
Okay. Now, when you guys, when she was climbing all over you, was she clothed, fully clothed?
Most of the times until she pulled her pants down and went over me, I realized I saw, you know, she was, they were kind of here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that pulled back up, and then she did it again, and then she did it again, and when she was running around after that, she
Oh my God,
pulled her pants all the way down, took them off, and just started, I said, you know, okay, no. So then she started running around the house.
Terry talked a bit more about how things were going at the daycare, but the tone quickly changed when the detectives told him the real reason they were there. It was about a case of child abuse. He also gave a very crucial and disturbing fact. The girl liked running around without clothes, and that often she would climb on top of him, something very out of the ordinary to say.
And then just started, I said, yeah, okay, no. So then she started running around the house that way for a few minutes. I got up the computer, and I went over to her and watched her, and there she was without pants on.
Where was your wife at during all this? Was she with the other kids?
I think she was doing something in the kitchen, maybe with
Okay.
or something. But anyway, so yeah, that was.
Is there anything else that might have happened? Because something like that, we really wouldn't be investigating. You know, things like that happen. 4-year-olds are going to be 4-year-olds. Is there anything else that happened during that interaction that we need to talk about now? If there is, you need to tell us now that we're not going to. If we find out during the course of our investigation, it's going to be much worse. This is your opportunity to get it all out on the table. Let us know what happened so we can do whatever it is that we need to do to move on, okay? It's your opportunity to be honest and tell us what happened, okay?
Did you climb on top of you with her pants off? Did you touch her in a way that wouldn't have been appropriate for a caretaker to touch?
Yes.
Okay. What happened?
Well, let's see. I smacked her bottom.
Why?
I think and yes, I may have kissed her bottom. So.
What do you mean by that?
Huh?
What do you mean by that? You kissed her butt?
Just her butt. Yes.
Are you sure?
Like that. And
Sure it wasn't something else that you kissed?
And.
Are you sure it wasn't something else you kissed?
And yes.
What did you do?
I did kiss down here.
Okay.
So you kissed vagina?
Yeah, that was just
Was it
a quick.
Was it just a kiss, or was it? I'm just trying to get the picture on exactly what happened. Okay, this is your opportunity to tell us what happened. Did you use any tongue or anything like that, sir?
And just so you're aware too, put you out of comfort. You know, we investigate these often. I know it can be embarrassing. It can be tough to talk about. So just know that this isn't one we've heard way worse. There's a lot of things that we've heard that, you know, don't come close to this. Okay. So, you know, that's It might feel embarrassing to open up and talk about it, but just know that unfortunately, there's nothing really that you can tell us that's going to be shocking. So, did you use your tongue?
Just embarrassing to say. Yes.
Okay. And how long did this encounter last?
Oh, just seconds.
If you had to guess, 5, 10?
I mean, just felt, the kissing part, just like that, quickly.
And she didn't have any underwear on, right?
Not, and then I on the kiss on the bottom was just like that. No,
Okay.
not tongue. Just, just
What did she
giggle,
do?
play. Giggle, laugh,
Okay.
and she, and then that was, and then she kept her pants off and started running around. I got up and said, okay, can't be this way.
At any point in time, did you pull out your penis at all?
No.
Okay. What was the purpose of you kissing her vagina?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Has this happened before?
No.
Are you sure?
No, just, yes. No.
Okay. So this was on Friday?
This was on Friday. She just, no. Just, I kiss her. I kiss all the kids, actually.
Well, that's what we're kind of
around the face.
Right.
Yeah, so,
well, that's what we're trying to, see exactly what happened. If this has ever happened before, if it's a one-time
their
thing.
butt was sticking up there, and yes, we were, giggling fun. So I kissed it, yes.
Okay. That was the only time. You've already told us, obviously what happened Friday. If there's other instances, let us know so we can deal with them now. Has this ever happened prior to? Or are you?
No, I've never kissed them.
Or licked? Have you ever?
Or licked.
Have you ever
vagina
used your hand to touch their vagina underneath their underwear?
But no. Okay. I gotta say, okay. It's a very. We do cuddle sometimes.
Okay. So what happens during that cuddling?
Well, usually my hand is up around in here, but yes.
Okay.
Maybe it's going down here, and she.
Okay.
And so.
Was this on Friday, or was this?
No, this is
weeks.
Been before.
Like how far before?
I don't know.
It's early April. Would you say March, February?
Well, she likes to be cuddled that way. I get the impression that she likes.
Yeah, little kids are going to do that.
She likes to be cuddled that way, and even with my hand down there, and she, this cuddle time seems to quiet her at that time. So
when you guys are cuddling, your hand kind of just winds up. Okay.
Down there.
Now, at any point in time, does your fingers enter her vagina?
Enter? No.
Are you sure?
Right here.
Inside or on the exterior of her pants?
On the exterior? No. Well.
Would they be inside her underwear? That's part of what the complaint is. So that's what we need to address. So is your hand on the inside of her underwear? Sir, if so, just tell us now.
It's uncomfortable, I know.
It is, but it's easier to get out there, and so we can deal with it, okay? Kids are going to want to cuddle, especially when you're around kids all the time. I have a little girl, and she wants to cuddle, and sometimes certain areas are, it's just odd, it's awkward. So I understand what you're saying. Now, does your hand ever go inside of her underwear when you guys cuddle?
It has.
Okay. Now, when that has happened, has your finger ever entered?
You're right, Green Eyes. This is why they can't be around kids, because they can't control themselves. They will never, ever, ever be healed. I don't care what kind of counseling they get. I don't care what kind of therapy they get. I don't care, in my opinion, if God himself come out and had a get right with Jesus talk with them. And I believe in God, and I believe in forgiveness, and I believe God can forgive all things. These people right here cannot, Lord, have mercy. I shouldn't speak for God, but I'm telling you what, I can speak for me, and I can tell you one thing right now. I can speak for God on this part. This is why God don't allow Smiley to have a job being one of these police officers right here. I would have been jumped over that table on the first case I was on, and I would have been behind bars, and these perps would have walked. I can tell you that, because I could not compose myself. And before somebody could have got me off of them, they'd have been near death. I'm sorry. I couldn't deal with it. Sorry. There's just certain things I cannot do or tolerate. And this is one of them. That's why I'm behind a screen here. Cinderella said, at Ginger not taking my father-in-law's side, he was a habitual driving drunk. He was locked up in a workhouse. They had counseling sessions. They had to bring a SAer, but had to talk to others. Well, most anything people can get forgiveness for, and most anything they can do. But I'm just telling you, this right here, I just don't think these people right here, there's a special place. I don't even know if there's a special place in hell for these people. I'm just saying. I ain't being funny. I'm just saying I don't think I don't even know if there's a special place in hell for these people.
Inside of her vagina.
I don't know.
Well, you would know. You would know whether or not your hand was down there if it entered inside the vagina. When you got bigger hands for an adult, so that area for a 4-year-old is going to be small. So during that, does your finger enter her vagina at all?
Well,
like I said, you're cuddling close.
Yeah.
If it's just a little bit of your
little bit,
how far? You say like halfway finger?
But
What you're
it's
doing
not.
right now.
It's not completely in the hole.
Not your whole finger, but just a little bit of your finger.
Just sort of like, here's the sides of the vagina, and it just goes in. It could
a
go
little bit.
so a little bit like that.
Okay. So does your finger enter her vagina just a little bit?
Well, maybe just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay. Now we've established that. Now, what I really want to make sure it didn't happen, has there ever been any penis penetration from your penis into nowhere inside the vagina, anus,
Penis
or
has
mouth?
never been exposed at all.
No point in time ever seen your penis exposed?
No.
Never.
Never.
What about any of the other kids?
Nor any of the other kids.
Okay. Now, the situations you were talking about with, has this happened back when she was younger or recently?
Younger, no.
What about recently?
Unfortunately, this was.
Let's get it all out there.
Yeah.
Just get it all out there, you know?
I know.
I know it's going to make you feel a hell of a lot better. I know it's awkward to talk about, but it's going to be a hell of a lot better for you when you just get it all out on the table and just let us know now, pressure off your chest and ease out of your mind, and we can move past it, all right? It's going to be a lot easier to move past. So,
moving past part of it. So,
yes.
Maybe I touched because she's coming too.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Was this recently when she would want to cuddle?
Well, if she's come to our house and on the outside of the...
What about the inside?
Not the inside with her, because I've never had the chance.
What about
been closer. Okay?
So doesn't cuddle as much?
No.
So would it be safe to
It's
say
just on the outside.
on the outside? Okay.
I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
If I did on the inside, I can't remember.
Okay.
Of the
So,
under.
and she likes to cuddle too, right?
They, like,
Okay.
yes. They
So
both
at
come
no
over
point in
to me and
time-
cuddle.
You have ever had your hands inside of underwear?
Maybe.
Again, and like I said, this might help. Specific example, maybe when you guys were on the computer and she was on your lap sitting. Do you remember a time maybe you were playing ABC Mouse or Nick Jr.? Did your hand go inside of her pants while she was sitting on your lap?
Maybe, yes.
When was this?
It's been a while because she hasn't come to our house.
What do you say? When you say it's been a while, how long do you say?
I mean, like maybe last summer, if she came one day.
Okay.
She didn't come every day.
The detectives grew tired of the small talk and decided it was time to confront Terry directly, pushing him to come clean. As they pressed him, he started to share disturbing details about what he had done to the 4-year-old girl. What was especially unsettling was how calmly he spoke about it, almost like he was just recounting an ordinary memory. It was sickening, and his lack of emotion made it even more chilling. The officers had to keep up their good cop act just to keep him talking.
She didn't come every day in the summertime.
Right.
They went
So she was sitting on your lap and your hand went inside her underwear and touched her vagina?
Just
briefly.
Just briefly.
Now let's go back to like we did. Did your fingers penetrate her vagina?
I don't remember. No.
Well, you would remember something like that, you know. I mean, it's an important situation. I mean, you would remember something like that because you don't seem like a bad guy, you know. Just these kids want to cuddle and stuff like that. When they're sitting on when sitting on your lap and you put your hand down the front of her underwear, does your finger ever penetrate inside of her vagina?
I mean, it's
Going back to that diagram.
possible. I followed the crease.
Okay.
It's possible. I
It's
followed the
possible.
crease.
Okay, and this was sometime last summer.
When she was here.
Almost a year ago.
Again, because she's in school, she doesn't come every day.
Right. Okay.
So it's just a day that she had off, and she would come.
In these instances, they were sometime this year.
Yeah.
Was it winter?
Unfortunately,
Other than the past Friday.
has just increased, and I mean, I feel guilty about it.
Okay.
I do.
Well, you made a
I
mistake.
feel guilty
You're
about
owning up to it. You're being a man and owning up to it.
But when I cuddle, it's just like, sometimes these things, and yeah.
Okay.
And besides that, I mean, I tell myself at least that it sort of likes not the inside of it, but the rubbing on the outside. I tell myself that.
Did your finger ever penetrate her anus at all?
No.
You're positive about that?
Yes.
Okay. And she has never, I know you said you've never had your penis exposed,
Correct.
but has she ever went inside your pants and touched your penis?
No.
No, never?
No.
Okay.
Other
than last Friday that you've already explained, the other time that you were talking about, would that have been the beginning of this year? Would it be safe to say?
Another time.
Yeah. Yeah.
This calendar year. I do not know when this sort of started. It's just that I do this occasionally with.
How many times?
Not
You have to
the
guess. How
not
many
the
times
inside the
ever?
underwear thing, but just the cuddling with my hand on the outside.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
I mean, touching her on the inside of the underwear, it doesn't happen a lot. No. But
so if you had to guess, what specifically, out of the whole time she's been,
Wow.
not on the outside, I'm talking about with your hand on the inside.
I don't know.
Would it be between
2 or 3 times.
2 and 3? Okay.
You don't think it'd be more than that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't put a number to it. I hesitate to.
Okay, so one of the,
Consider what it is. I
okay,
guess my mind is not
right.
wanting to
Like,
admit this. I mean, you're right.
like Detective Brubaker said, you know, one of the complaints was that when it's on your lap, that, you know, which you already talked about, that you put your hand down the front of her pants and hands on her vagina. One of the other complaints is
It's inappropriate. I totally understand. Yes.
sometime last week was trying to do the splits on the couch, and you were kind of showing her a little bit doing the splits, like pushing her legs down on the couch. Do you remember that incident?
Doing the splits.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember that at all?
No.
No. Could that have been maybe last Friday when she was climbing on you and the incident happened that you already talked to us about? Would that be part of it?
No. Splits. I mean, no.
What about if she was just sitting on the couch and maybe you just took her legs and spread them apart?
Okay. What happens a lot, she likes to do is I will sit on the couch and she wants to sit on my shoulders.
Okay.
Okay. And
when she sits on your shoulder,
and so I play with her legs and her feet, and yes, I spread them apart like that.
Do you spread her legs apart?
I just
at any point in time,
together,
given that what you had already told us, when her legs are apart like that, has she ever had her underwear either off or you moved her underwear?
No. She hasn't. No.
She's never had her underwear off.
No.
Okay. Well, if she did have her underwear on, did you ever put your face down in her vagina area while she had her legs open like that?
No.
No. Are you sure?
I don't remember if I have, but no, I'm sure.
Okay. So would this have all been last Friday, what we've discussed, and then sometime this year?
Sometime. I mean, it's a...
You said 2 or 3 times.
Behavior.
You told us.
She sits on my shoulders and,
Is she facing you or facing the opposite
She's
way?
facing the TV.
Okay.
We're both watching the TV or whatever.
Okay.
She just sits on my shoulders. And so she's sitting here. And I get the feeling that her vagina area is pushing against my head like that.
Does that arouse you?
And I think it arouses. I think she likes it.
Oh, no, I mean you.
But does it arouse me? I mean,
it obviously does, or you obviously wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
but
you have
but she sort of like constantly wants to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sits on my shoulder, so I just put her. So I play with her legs as far as they're up there.
Mm-hmm.
So you could spread them apart or clap them or whatever, or just they're there. So
when you have your hands down her pants, that obviously arouses you as well. Is that just kind of part of it?
I'm sure that's why yes.
Okay.
I would. I mean, it's totally inappropriate behavior, so it must be something. Yeah.
So
I mean, yes. Yes.
Just to clarify, you have never had any penetration with your penis whatsoever?
Never.
Okay. What about ever?
Never.
Okay. What about the other children inside the home? Have you ever had any issues that we've discussed? I mean, that way we know ahead of time if there's ever been any other issues with any of the other children that your wife watches, that you help watch as well?
No.
Never done anything like this?
Never. No, she's not as cuddly, and she never comes over.
The boys? What about?
Not the boys.
No. Okay.
Not the boys. I mean, yes.
So
I pick them up, of course. We're there to do what you do, but no, I don't do anything sexual with anybody else.
Okay.
It's just that this cuddling has unfortunately evolved into something that.
What does she say when you put your fingers inside of her vagina? Does she say stop, or does she like move your hand away, or how does that? What happens at that point?
Well, she doesn't. At first, for a while, she lets me do it, and then
How long?
I don't know,
Couple minutes.
a couple minutes, and then she sort of like, pulls out and says, "It's stinky, isn't it?" So she says, "Your fingers are gonna get stinky if you do that."
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped at that time. But, I mean, again, it's not often that I go inside the underwear, just mostly.
Shh. I keep forgetting I'm on mute. I understand. Enjoy the simple things in life. Thank you so much for being here. This is a hard one. It's very disturbing. Oh my God. This is a disturbing one. This man is sick. He's beyond sick, to say the very least. I'm very glad that this judge spoke up and spoke out, honestly. But this is sick. I don't know how anybody, and I do mean anybody, could do this to a child. I really honestly don't. And like Green Eye said, he don't think he's doing anything wrong. That's the problem. He don't think he's doing anything wrong. Nothing. And I'm with y'all in here. It makes my stomach turn and my skin crawl. But again, I feel like, unfortunately, this is something that needs to be seen. Who would believe this? Nobody. Nobody would believe this if you just told them. I mean, if they didn't see it for themselves. I see some of y'all writing, I can't believe he's even telling on himself as much as he is. That's because, again, he don't think he's done nothing wrong. He don't see it. He don't see it. Thank goodness these cops know how to handle him and know how to ask the right questions and obviously make him feel comfortable. I couldn't contain myself in person with him. Scotty Too Hottie said, pedos are everywhere. You need to watch your children. You need to watch your children. You need to vet who they're around. Trust no one with your precious kids. They are gifts. They are gifts. And then you got parents out here doing the same thing and getting rid of their own kids, in my opinion. Don't take my word for it. It's happening every day. I'm not just speaking on cases I work on. I'm speaking of it's in the literal news. I'm sure you could go to Crime Cracked and see it for yourself. I'm sure they've got more cases like this with parents, honestly. It's sickening. How is he going to sit there and blame and put blame on this child? Again, I say, why didn't he go to the parent? Why didn't he go to his wife? Well, it don't matter. This is why the bastard's sitting in prison right now, right? Thank God a judge and a jury knew better. Actually, right now I'm thanking God he wasn't from my hometown in Tennessee. Literally. Because who knows what would have happened. I'm sorry. You might have had another sick son of a bitch walking on the streets. Sorry. I can say that. Born and raised there. Tennessee, y'all need to get it together, honestly. Just saying. This is disturbing.
But she's obviously saying, you know, it's stinky, isn't it? That obviously if you're doing it for a couple minutes, you're rubbing, and then you put your finger in and out. I mean, what is she doing when you're doing that? Is she still just sitting there? Is she saying stop? Is she saying it feels good? What is she saying?
She's still just sort of laying there and relaxing. And,
Okay. Are you kissing her at the same time?
no.
If you are, just tell us.
Yeah, no,
Have you?
not that same time. No, we're just sit there together and watch TV, and she really just relaxes.
In a chilling confession, Terry brazenly recounts his vile acts against a child, shamelessly admitting to groping her genitals and prying her legs apart while she sat on his shoulders during TV sessions. He brazenly revels in the sick arousal he felt, confessing to spreading her legs and even slipping his fingers inside her vagina. When pressed by detectives about the child's reactions, he callously notes she endured his assaults for minutes before squirming in discomfort. His depraved admissions spark a barrage of questions about whether he gratified himself during these grotesque encounters, painting a horrifying portrait of a predator without remorse.
Sit there together and watch TV, and she really just relaxes on my shoulder, on my front.
Are you gratifying yourself at the same time?
No, I'm not touching myself or anything like that.
Are you sure?
I mean, no, I'm not touching myself. Her sitting on my lap does occasionally. I don't come to full. No, but
So you get aroused, but you do not ejaculate.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever ejaculated while doing this?
No. Come close and then I get up and stop.
What do you mean you came close?
Well, you feel like you're gonna.
Well, tell me about the incident where you came close.
I was sitting there.
Was it
Probably touching her inappropriately, and it felt like, oh my gosh, something's gonna happen, in my pants. So I just said, we gotta stop. So I pushed her off and walked her out of the house.
And you were not gratifying yourself at the same time?
Not touching myself at all.
Were you in a way?
The fact that she was sitting on my lap.
So were you kind of grinding her on yourself then?
I wasn't grinding her on myself. No.
Was she grinding on your lap?
I mean, she wiggles, but it's just her being there. Yes.
Okay.
But no, I didn't.
So is this
purposely do that? I don't, because I don't want.
Is this an addiction that you feel like you struggle with?
I don't know. Maybe that's a possibility.
That's one of the.
Could you get me more water?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. No problem.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
No, this is very.
Oh, no problem. We have infinite supply.
Oh.
When one of the things that I do is I work with internet crimes against children, so I'm familiar with the addiction that can come with this, and it sounds like that you've made some key terms and phrases when you talked about this that, it's hard for me. I've tried, and so I'm wondering if this is something that you daily deal with.
And maybe that's a good word. Yes, that's a good word. Addiction, because how long has it been going on? I've been retired and working with the kids now for just a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
2017 I retired. And I really haven't had kind of this kind of a thing, for lack of a better word, until,
You are.
And I started getting that.
Did it ever happen with your daughters when they were young?
Getting that intimate. No, I didn't with my daughters. That's the point. I didn't with other kids in the house.
And one thing.
But something I started doing. And I told myself that she likes it. And actually, because she keeps coming up to me all the time, and
obviously some
hugging me and cuddling and climbing all over, and both. And not also is very active.
No, I understand.
There's
definitely. I'm not. Yeah. It's typically one or the other, as my experience has shown me. It's typically if there's a sexual attraction to girls, there's not usually the boys as well. It's few and far between. But the one thing I'll ask you, and again in the same lines of honesty, have you ever taken any inappropriate photographs of?
No.
So like if we looked in your phone or on your computer, there wouldn't be anything?
No.
Okay. Do you ever view, watch, download child pornography?
Not child pornography. I mean, I've looked at what's considered porn of adult.
Okay, that's fine, obviously.
But not child, no.
Okay. So you've never gone on the internet and looked at pictures of children, and again, I know this is going to be embarrassing, awkward. Have you ever masturbated to photographs of children that someone else might seem was inappropriate?
No, not. I mean, I've seen pictures of children naked.
On the internet?
On the internet.
How did you find those photographs?
Well, actually, I searched. They're family pictures. They're not children doing sexual things.
Okay, just children nude.
They're children nude playing and at nudist camps and things like that.
So
they're families.
Okay, but you don't personally know these families.
I don't personally know these families. It's just that those are the kind of pictures that can be found.
What do you search when you find those photographs?
Family, nudity, or something like that is a search thing. But
do you have to put nudist camp or something specific like that, or?
The word nude helps.
Right.
But again, they're not of the children. They're not
sexually.
They're not. Right.
They're just standing there, maybe playing at a playground,
playing and stuff like that, doing things. Yes.
Okay.
And usually with other adults there. So those, I mean, yes, I've looked up stuff like that on the computer.
And again, like I said, doing this all the time, but when you search those, you're focusing on the children that are nude.
I'm looking at yes.
Okay.
This is sickening. It's very sickening. There isn't one single reason why a predator abuses children. It's not. They have motivations to do this, sexual gratification. And he's saying, oh, he didn't gratify himself. Hey, Robin, I call BS on that. I call BS. He lies when he says he wasn't sexual aroused. I don't believe that either. He got enjoyment from it. Otherwise, why did he do it? Why did he do it? He got, was it 22? I think it was 22 years. I had that wrote down. I want to say 22 years, but he's 70. He was 70 years old. That would make him 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 34. I mean, 25. So he was 70 years old at the time. So it makes him about 78 now. He's not going to see the time of day. He has no parole. He won't get parole at all. He won't get parole at all. He definitely won't get parole. Yeah, he's not going to get parole, though, at all. But some people have this sense of entitlement. I think watching this, he definitely had a sense of entitlement. What do y'all think about that? That's what I think. Abusers may believe they are entitled to engage in these behaviors. And they think they're more important than the child's well-being. Yes, Shelley. Oh my God. There's just no way. No way. Somewhere in this video, he says it's time to go home and tell her. So he says she didn't. Scotty Too Hottie says she was most of the time upstairs putting kids down for a nap. I just don't know. I don't know because I think things are odd, but I don't know. I don't know how she didn't know. People that do this kind of act funny when others come in the room and stuff. I don't know. I think she just probably trusted him. They were married a long, long time. I just say how she didn't know. I don't know. But people like this, they have delusional thinking. And they probably just convince themselves that their actions are not harmful to the child and that the child consented. I say, he's blaming it on the victim, blaming it on the victim. That's what they all do, blame it on the victim. Yeah, it seems like it, but again, what did he threaten the child? I mean, I don't know. She eventually told her parent. Eventually. It's just it's so disturbing. Let's see what this says. Florida has a new law now that's being challenged to where if the child is a certain age, they will get the DP. Yes. We don't play down here. We don't play at all. It was a 4 and 6 year old sisters, they were sisters. I don't know if it was one or both of them, but they were 4 and 6 year old that was staying at that daycare. Yeah. It's very disturbing.
But no, I haven't sat there and masturbated while I watched it.
Okay.
I mean, it's arousing, of course.
Right.
But
now, do you after the circumstances with that's something that maybe you think about later while masturbating? This is also kind of helping with that whole, trying to understand the level of addiction you might be suffering from with this. And, something that might, down the road require, what kind of assistance or help that, could be to your aid.
He said,
so, like I said,
they really come
if you're not ejaculating or,
a lot of people probably
getting
ashamed.
to that end with them, is that something that maybe later on in the evening you'll think about and then masturbate to?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly have to think about that. I mean, I've masturbated in the shower when I take a shower sometimes, but
I mean, we're all guys. We have a thought in our head when that might be going on. Is that something that you think about?
Do they come up?
Detectives aggressively grill Terry about his twisted online pursuits, zeroing in on his fixation with explicit child-related content. He smugly confesses to scouring the internet for family photos and images of kids, particularly from nudist camps, claiming they're non-sexual. With brazen defiance, he denies ever seeking out hardcore child pornography or pleasuring himself to such filth. Terry insists his searches are limited to nude children in innocent settings, not sexual acts. The detectives relentlessly probe deeper, demanding to know the exact keywords he uses in his perverse hunts. He admits to chasing nudity online, but arrogantly maintains he never indulges in sexual acts while ogling these images, as the interrogation stays laser-focused on his sickening digital trail and warped fascination with child-related content. By this time, it was clear what kind of a sick person they were dealing with.
I don't, but no, they have never seen me naked.
Okay, then that's fine. I'm not saying that. I'm just curious.
Just what I've described here is the extent of the interaction with the girls.
Okay, and that's good. Like I said, we We definitely have.
Inappropriate touching. I totally agree.
Okay.
And
Is this something that you feel like it's hard for you that, let's say that, you go back home and then tomorrow, or do you feel like that you're unable to control yourself around? Do you just have that strong sexual urge when you're around her? Is it to that point, or like how do you trust yourself to not do this again, or is it beyond that point?
I think after today, after talking with you two,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after admitting to myself and to you, and I'm going to have to go home and tell Carol, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm. Especially it is a business.
See, there it is. Now, after talking to them and admitting what he did, he thinks he's going to have to go home and tell his wife. Oh, boy.
That revolves around children.
It is, and that's why my biggest fear is I put that in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I will.
How do you think she's going to react? Is she aware of this demon?
She is not. She is not. If she is, she hasn't.
So you never
Told me.
confided in anybody?
Never confided in
Zach
sort
and
of
I today?
that's always been outside of her. I mean, when she's not in the room.
Right.
Which is interesting. Let me ask y'all in here, how would that conversation go with y'all if somebody told you that? Other than after you got over the shock. I'm just curious. Because I honestly, and being married a long time, literally, I don't know what I would do. I'm just saying, I would be so sick. Yeah, I would be in jail probably, but honestly, I literally don't know what I would do. Hey, Laura. That would be, oh my God. And I always look back. A case I always look on, and I was not on YouTube at the time, but I always go back to the case, the BTK killer. And I think about that man and that lady and that family. And I think about he had a job. He went to church. They went to church together. Everybody in the community loved him. He was a family-oriented man. He went to work every day. He was out doing the things he was doing for years. The things that he did that was so grotesque, then he would come home, and these are the things I would think about, which is gross, but I can't help it. And he would crawl in the bed with his wife every night. He would sit down to supper with his wife. He would put his hands on his wife after doing those things. And then when she finally, after all the years past that, found out what he'd been doing all those years, I don't know, I would probably not only be sick, probably have a heart attack in the floor and die myself, because I don't know if I could fathom. I just don't know if I could wrap my head around what all just happened in my life all those years behind my closed doors with my husband, and the things I did with him, loving him and all, touching and all the things, knowing what all he had been out doing. I mean, I'm just being real with y'all. So did this person's, I mean, what? I don't know, Holly. I honestly don't know. But do I think she saw signs? I think there's a huge possibility that she saw signs. And sometimes what I think is, see, and people don't understand this, but sometimes I think you see signs with people that you love so much. Hey, wait, what? And everybody coming in, Rogue. Sometimes I think you see signs with people you love so much that you become blind to it or oblivious to it because you don't want to think the worst. Sometimes, for example, yes, because there's people that can even be beside you. Yes, because there's people that can even be beside you, for example, that you love and trust so much, for example, that maybe drink or not supposed to drink, and they're drinking, but you don't smell it, and you literally don't smell it because you put it out of your head. Does that make sense? And you may not catch it for a year or so because you're the one in denial. So did this wife know? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But on the outside looking in, I think there was probably signs. But I think when it comes to children, everybody needs to be a little more aware and awake. Children are innocent. They have no say-so. They're precious. They're gifts. And it's your job to protect these children, period. Predators groom families, friends, communities before the child. It's very sinister and calculated to hide what they are doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I've never confided it. It's been very private between me and yes. So they talk to their mother about this, I'm sure. But they and I was, it's been my fear, I guess, that they might So after today, yes, I can say that I will just have to avoid
Yeah.
more than just, I mean, I can't avoid touching the kids at all. I mean, because they're
Right,
there.
yeah.
They're running around and then
Picking them up
they
and
run out
and
picking
stuff.
them up and stuff like that is just part of the job, part of that. And again, she runs over and she likes to be picked up. I've noticed seeing pictures of her with family and friends, and she's always being picked up and held.
Right.
That's she's very, but I'm gonna, yes, I will. Again, after today,
Mm-hmm.
especially this fear is going to be in my head enough that certainly it's going to give me the willpower, I think, to stop that behavior. Yes. And we'll have to talk to Carol. And
one thing that
my fear is that come back anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, and like I said, this is still the preliminary part of the investigation. And one thing that we might not have addressed yet is a lot of times, especially when children are young and something like this happens to them, you know, they don't really comprehend what's happened or what's going on. It's my fear, and hopefully you can help clarify this. Is there going to be any other children that maybe Carol has watched over the last 22 years that this has happened to, where there's potential other girls that you might have had this relationship with?
No, because this behavior has just begun. I say this year. I mean, not well, perhaps this is only April. I mean, that's perhaps, you know, from 2018 also, but it's only recent. In other words, all the other kids know I've never touched them sexually. I mean, I certainly picked up kids, even
And that we're not
even
worried
older
about that at all.
kids, and hugs and stuff.
I think you probably gathered out of our conversation the questions we've had.
Where you're going, and no, I've never done this with anybody else.
Okay, that's good to know. All right.
And yes.
So just to also clarify, I don't have to worry about, the only thing that would be on your computer would be the nudist family.
I don't save
search.
anything that. Yes, I do one of these searches. If I do that, it's late at night, and I'll put it on the private, so that there's a way that you can put it so it doesn't, the history isn't saved.
Right.
So that history is not saved.
Okay.
And
but there's not photographs of on your computer or on your cell phone.
Well, certainly not naked or nude or anything sexual like that.
That's all I care about.
We have photographs of all the kids.
Of course.
That Carol has taken, and yeah, no, not my phone, so it's her phone. Yeah, but my phone, I don't really take pictures. But and you can search. I'll if you want, I can give it to you.
All right, that's much appreciated.
You may search that. So I will be fully open about all this.
Okay, we definitely appreciate it. It makes our job that much easier. And I mean, do you feel better than you did before we picked you up? I mean, obviously, I understand the circumstances of the act doesn't go away, but does it feel good to open up and talk about it? Or do you feel the same?
Maybe. I mean, when you came to the porch and you started talking, you said you wanted to come down here, I thought, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because
that's usually the reaction we get, though, anyway.
There today, and Jen just called and said they were tired and need to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, I'm putting two and two together here. So, my fear is just for me, but for Carol in the business, if we lose the business of they're nice people, and they're two kids. We're only down to 4 now. Carol's thinking of retiring in a few years. She's 61, and basically not really searching for more kids, but also, God, it's just going to be a record thing where
And is it my,
sexual predator kind of a thing or whatever.
and, we can't foresee the future, but one question I had is Carol's business licensed daycare?
No, that's not in that sense. Yeah, she used to work with Action for Children
Okay.
until Action for Children got around to what were they doing? They forgot they no longer fund food, and so she said, well, forget you. So she's independent on her own. It's not licensed.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just an independent.
But they use her, like anyone that uses her services, do write her off as a tax credit.
I'm sure, yes.
Okay.
In fact, yeah.
Because you guys probably get notified when someone uses, I believe, an EIN number. It's basically for tax purposes. Like if I'm paying you $10,000 a year, I get 20% tax break or something like that.
And I know she fills out a form for a couple of the people.
Yeah. Okay.
And for their sometimes their jobs give them
Stipend,
credit,
right?
Yeah, for daycare. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know, but I know that family does.
Okay. All right.
So again, I don't want to hurt the business. That's my fear.
Right. Okay.
And yes, or the other fear of online record or me having a record.
Have you ever been in trouble for anything else before?
No.
I mean,
Traffic tickets. That's it.
okay.
I mean, nothing. I was always a good kid.
Okay.
And
So this
church and all
this
that.
type of behavior never happened when your girls were younger?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean,
And you said one of your daughters lives locally. Does she live in Grandview?
no, not in Grandview. It's up at Olentangy Commons, it's called.
You said in town. I didn't know if you meant Columbus or Grandview town.
Columbus, and she works at Kroger's Chambers Road.
Okay. Does she do it further?
She works in the floral department.
Okay.
Her name is Christina.
She actually arranged the flowers, is that?
Yeah, she arranges, they sell, of course, but yeah, she makes arrangements and she can make, the flower things for weddings or proms and stuff like that. And they sell lots of flowers there, so and she's been there for quite a few years. She's right now, though, she's also going to Columbus State studying to be a vet tech. She's always loved animals and wants to be.
Good for her. She just starting, or is she a couple of years in? Or?
Well, she's a few years in. She'd actually taken the 3 years preliminary at Columbus State, and then she quit school for a while, but now she's picked up some money at Kroger. She's going to go back and doing the actual vet tech program, so she's in the first year of the 2 year.
Okay.
So when she gets out, she will be licensed or whatever as a vet tech, and then, which is like nursing and veterinary or something like that. So then she can hopefully find a job locally. And
good for her.
she's living in an apartment with her boyfriend right now. I
Okay.
don't know what their wedding plans are, but she's actually 32, something like I can't remember.
All right.
But the other daughter, as I say, is up lives in Copley and getting married in Cleveland this summer.
Good news. Great news. All right. Well,
So I go, yes.
you
Which they also say, Rogue, you're right about that. Which also they say some of the underlying psychological issues to this is they have abusers have mental health issues, such as impulse control problems, sexual obsessions, or a lack of empathy. Just saying. They have difficulties with adult relationships. Some individuals lack the social skills and self-confidence. Who said yesterday, I'm an asshole? I don't want to be an asshole, but I'm an asshole. I'm just saying. Since you brought this up, Rogue. There always has to be somebody to bring up something else in another case. I'm just saying. Yeah. So they need to get help. You're right. Just saying. Now I'm just telling y'all. I'm just telling y'all. Um, Also, they have problems with intimate relationships with adults. Uh, some people have 5, 6, 7 wives. I don't know what this man right here has, but I'm just saying. Abusers often have distorted ways of thinking, and uh, it allows them not to rationalize their behavior, such as minimizing the harm or blaming a child. And they have attachment issues, poor relationships with caregivers in their own childhood. Can contribute to difficulties forming healthy attachments later in life. Maybe a history of abuse. A significant number of child abusers were themselves victims of abuse in childhood. This can contribute to a cycle of abuse. Although most abuse survivors do not become abusers, some do. It's okay, Rogue. I had to get this out anyway. I'm not pointing fingers to anybody. I'm just saying. Also, again, access to children, individuals who work, like this guy on the screen, or are around children may have more opportunities to offend. And social isolation, lack of positive adult relationships can contribute to seeking companionship or control over children. Or if they have substance abuse or drug abuse, can lower the their impulsive behavior part. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So that is interesting, though. It is.
Give me a couple minutes. We'll figure out what's going to go on, and then I'll be right back with you.
Terry opens up about his worries that his actions might negatively affect his wife's daycare business and damage her reputation. He also shares his fear of ending up with a criminal record because of what he admitted. He explains that the daycare isn't a licensed facility. It mainly exists for tax purposes, allowing clients to claim tax breaks for using the service.
Now he's going to say
Terry also
he's
talks
worried
about his
his
family,
wife's reputation.
especially his daughters, and what they're currently doing. The detectives continue questioning him about whether there have been any past incidents involving inappropriate behavior with children. But Terry insists his actions were limited to the children already mentioned. The conversation ends with Terry waiting for further instructions from the detectives.
What's going to go on, and then I'll be right back with you. I brought you a bigger cup. We don't have to keep refilling
Okay.
the little one.
Hoping it won't go through this.
We're just checking with some things on children's services to make sure that everything that we've talked about has kind of been addressed. Don't want to leave any stone unturned. I'm actually just curious. What does, I'm curiosity because I have a son myself and child care is so expensive. What do you guys charge per kid? Like if I were to have full-time care, which would be what, 7:30 to 5:30? Is that about
7:30, 5:30. So, gosh, because Carol handles all that. $35 per kid, I think, per day. But if you do like a whole week and it's, somebody steady like we have here, it's a little bit less than that. And I have to ask her the details again. Carol handles all the details. I do remember the $35 per kid. So if you just for some, brought it, somebody in one day, like come on a school day off, or a couple of the other kids that we've recently babysat for go to school and have come to us on a day off. It's like $35. But again, with a whole week isn't 35 times 5. It's a little bit cheaper than that.
Okay, so you get a discount for doing 5 steady days.
Discount for 5 steady days, and then certainly maybe, I don't know if she does a monthly discount or not, but anyway, so it's that. And we don't charge anything else. I pick up after preschool 2 days a week. We feed lunches and snacks.
And that's all included.
And that's all
30,
included.
35. Okay.
So,
do you guys do date nights too?
And no, not evenings, not date nights. No. Yeah, the evenings are.
Those are the tough ones to find.
Yeah.
When mom and dad need a Saturday night out, you can watch them till 11 or midnight.
Yeah, no, we haven't volunteered to do that, and so it's just during the day. And so you have 7:30 to 5:30 hours.
Okay. Makes sense.
Monday through Friday.
How have you, does this take up most of your retirement time since you left 2 years ago?
Oh.
Any other hobbies? Play golf or still in the music?
Don't play golf. Sing in the church choir for music-wise. Work around the house. Trying to get, do things around the house to get them all rooms painted or things fixed up around the house, this, that, and the other.
Always something to
Just
do.
always that kind of a chore that I try to do. And again, I can't do much around the house during the week because the kids are all there,
Right.
Couldn't paint a room, so I have to do these on Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you,
usually
Laura. Love you.
While the kids are there, especially in the afternoon when they're napping, I'll run down to the workbench and be able to do some things, down there.
Yeah.
Just small chores.
Does Carol rely on you pretty heavily then?
And
Like if you went and did something every day, would she still be okay, or does she like having you?
I think she'd be okay, really. Again, I worked up until a couple of years ago, and she's been doing babysitting for 20 plus years. So she was always on her own.
Right.
Up until, but I mean, I just my help is, I'm sure, relieves her. Again, a major thing is lunch, and then I guess she takes the kids upstairs one at a time for naps.
Right.
And so the other kids are downstairs, and I just sort of make sure that they're all behaving themselves or whatever. The little one he's one, and he's everywhere. He walks around, gets into stuff, and climbs and whatever. Just have to make sure that he's not getting into something he's not supposed to be.
Yeah, my son turns 1 Wednesday. So I'm very aware.
Walking?
Not really. He'll pull himself up and he'll shimmy himself around, but
Mhm.
he's not walking yet.
Oh, well,
But
enjoy
he's
it.
so close. He's so close. It's almost like I almost want him just to walk because at least then I don't have to worry about him climbing on things to try to walk.
He
if that
did,
makes
Holly.
sense.
Well, yeah, but boy, when they start walking, then they really find things to get into.
Right, yeah.
So absolutely. Is this your first?
It is. Yep.
So of course, make sure you're
Just
baby-proofed everywhere.
Absolutely. We've
Covered.
already all the corners of every coffee table and end table have the rubber pads on the outside. We haven't done the cabinets yet.
Outlets plugged in.
Yes.
The cabinets. Oh, yeah, the cabinet locks are important because they like to open them up. So
Right.
some things you don't want them in, like under the sink, perhaps.
Yeah, all your cleaning supplies and things like that.
Now the ones, other ones he gets into the pots and pans and we go, sure, fine.
We can always put those back.
Always put those back.
We can't
loves to make the noise.
induce vomiting when you drink glass cleaner. So
No, we do have this lazy Susan in the corner of a kitchen that rolls out and then has spices and stuff. And we haven't figured out how to lock that yet because he loves to turn that around and pull his spice bottles out of it.
does it have a cabinet on it though that opens before, like in front of the waist? Because we have the same one.
Yeah.
But ours has a cabinet.
Has a cabinet.
And then you can spin it. It's like a bifold door.
Oh, no, we don't have that. We just have the, as it comes to the corner, the 2 doors.
I know, and then you just
rotate,
spin it. Yeah.
just spin it. And so he'll open it up and right for the little spice bottles. And sometimes if he can open them, he'll, or whatever's down there.
Kitchen floor filled with cinnamon. That's always fun.
Yeah. So what's the process? What are we? I'm waiting for
I think we're going to
another gentleman to do something. Right?
Yeah, I think we're going to take you home here soon. Like I said, I think just want to clear. So whenever these children's services referrals come in, it's very limited with information. It'll have basically like the original complaint, but the way that they write it, I don't know if are you too familiar with like medical professionals. When they write, it's like PT will stand for patient, so it's very abbreviated, and you're trying to decipher. Okay, PT came into the ED and they disclosed, and so we have what we discussed are the key points of what the referral had to talk about. But sometimes they write things down separately from what we get at the initial stages. So he's just making sure that, okay, we have the information that we discussed, and to just make sure that we, crossed all our T's and dotted our I's and don't have anything else while you're here to discuss with you. Because, we don't want to keep bothering you coming to your house and, making it, uncomfortable. So as long as we prefer one uncomfortable interaction, we don't want, several, if that makes sense. So I think he's just doing that because the screening process is a lot more in depth than what we got, if that makes sense. So, yeah, and I'm just...
If you can't answer this, did you talk to...
No, I have not. That's not part of... Yeah, so Children's Services has a process whenever, no matter what the allegation would be, whether it's even just, we just did one of these last week where...
The tone shifts a bit as the detective steers the conversation toward more casual topics, asking about the daycare. They briefly talk about childcare costs and the challenges of baby-proofing a home. Terry says he helps his wife out, especially during nap time. The detective adds that they try to be respectful and avoid making Terry uncomfortable with too many visits. At this point, the atmosphere seems more relaxed while they wait for someone else to arrive and take over the case.
I think a juvenile said that their father hit them with a bat. It's the same process, no matter what the circumstances. So, we, in that particular case, the juvenile was a little older, so we were able to actually talk with him. But when they're this young, we don't typically reach out to them right away. That's something that there's trained professionals with nationwide children's that work to do that. So yes, in answer to your question, we have not spoke to. We'll probably, obviously, we'll let you know everything. We'll probably have to reach out to the parents and let them know how our discussion went today. This is not something that I'm sure you're aware cannot be kept under the rug. Even though that, it sounds like, with your honesty and your remorse, it's something that is very serious. So I'm not going to lie to you. This is kind of serious stuff. Again, something that, I deal with, routinely. So children's will do what they have an interview process that they'll do with younger kids and have a discussion with them. We don't do that. I mean, we're trained in that, but there's people that are better than we are to talk with kids. So, but as far as that, you'll probably want to, like you already said, you're going to have the discussion with Carol. It's probably better if she hears it from you than anybody else, because you don't know how, it can be misconstrued from, people talk, and you just don't want her to hear it from anyone else. So I will tell you that she will eventually find out. So it would definitely be better to hear it from her husband than someone else.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I know that will probably be a very difficult conversation for you to have as well. So.
And if there's a timing involved, it probably won't happen until after 5:30. And have her go home, and then we'll talk. But
and you said that I know we kind of discussed it before. She's never found or figured that this might be going on, or because every time this occurs,
to my knowledge, it's been with her not in the room. Yes,
because you separated from everyone else when this does happen.
Yeah, she takes all the kids upstairs to nap, and then try to. Again, the idea was to sit on the couch quietly and just sort of calm down and cuddle. And
does she stay upstairs with the kids while they're napping, or does she just try?
She sits up there because they tend not to go to sleep right away, and they get out of their beds, and so she wants to. So she sits up in the hall while the kids. There's 3 bedrooms that have. A couple of them have cribs, and then our bed.
Okay.
So she stays up there in the hall and just to make sure that nobody gets out of bed. Or
you call.
Okay. Yeah, that's her parents. I've given her that nickname too.
Okay.
In preschool, that's what her thing. So official name.
Okay. I didn't know if there was another young girl that was there.
In fact, the other kids call her.
Oh, really?
Which is something they just started, but she doesn't mind that either. But
so does Carol just sit up and read or something?
Yeah, she stays up there and just reads. She has a book, a nook that she reads or something like that, or unless it things on her phone. But she's upstairs quiet.
Now, is that when the circumstance that happened Friday? Is that when what you talked to us about? Is that when that would have happened?
No, actually, we were. Yeah, she was in the kitchen. Carol was in the kitchen at that time on the computer. And again, she was sort of wired. She's full of energy. I forgot what we were doing before. She likes to, there's a gymnastic move that she likes where I hold her hands and she does a little flip on my hands. Stepping on my knees and walking over it. And she likes to do that. So she did that for a while. And then she wanted me to pick her up and what she was, I don't know what she was doing, and pick her up, but she was still just wired, and she hits sometimes. She actually slaps in the face, which is not good. So I said, well, look, I'm tired of this. I'm going to sit on the couch and then you can, I don't know. But it's meant, I'm sit down if you want to just play all over me, you can do that. So I sat on the couch and she climbed behind me and went over my shoulder and down again. We were doing this flip thing, so it's sort of a variation on that, I guess. And so she was just would go over my shoulder and down on her hands on the floor, and then so or he would come over here, and then I'd flip her. And we're doing backflip? No. Anyway, somehow. So then she got on the floor. Anyway, so so the feet came over this way and up here and down, and then after 2 or 3 times there, so here come over the feet, and suddenly, whoa,
No pants.
she had no pants, she was naked. They're pulling down that far, so bare bottom. I go, well, okay, fine, and so did that a couple of times. Anyway.
All right, Terry. That's all the questions that I have. Do you have any more questions?
No, we're good.
You're free to go. If you want to walk home, you can, or if you'd like, we can take you back home. That's totally up to you.
I'll take the ride.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's no problem.
Mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Just understand you're free to go at any point. We're just getting you right back to the house. Okay.
Just related to him. I'll talk to Carol.
Okay.
But it'll be after 5:30, after when the 2 babysitter kids go home.
Okay.
So if there's any other, like, you want to talk to her or something like that, we'll be home tonight.
Okay. All right.
After 5:30. And you will, of course. I'm sorry I didn't have my cell phone. I
Oh, it's
gave
okay.
it to you.
That's no problem. We have the house number.
As I told him, I don't take pictures on my phone anyway. But,
Okay. All right.
okay. Yes, my fear is for the business, Carol. So, okay, you'll of course keep in contact.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll
Again, I feel bad.
yeah.
I feel really bad.
Well, do you feel any better than you did when we first came in here? At least you got it off your chest?
Well, I mean, yeah, I got it off the chest. At least, I sort of was halfway afraid that that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, I can tell.
When
We do stuff like this all the time. I can tell that you wanted to get some stuff off your chest, and you did, and you owned up to it. To be quite honest with you, I give you kudos for that because most of the time people don't own up to it.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid it, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
You did well pulling it out of me.
I mean, you were free to go at any point. You wanted to stay here and obviously own up to the mistakes you made. And,
Hey, Raymond.
I couldn't avoid it.
Yeah.
I couldn't avoid it because I knew that it was there.
Yeah, they're waiting on some stuff from CPS and stuff like that.
Well, all you can do is move forward, right? Just be honest with your wife about everything.
Hold on, I want to show y'all
Be an
something.
uncomfortable conversation, but it's something that you're going to have, okay?
My fear, well, I have 2 fears. First of all,
The detective then explains what happens when Child Protective Services, CPS, gets involved in cases like this. They'll likely speak to the parents and interview the children involved. The detective also stresses the importance of Terry being honest with his wife, Carol, about everything. Terry says he's worried about how this might impact their daycare, but appreciates being able to talk things through. He admits he feels guilty. The detective tells him they'll stay in touch and offers to drive him home after 5:30 p.m. once the daycare kids have gone. Shortly after this conversation, CPS and the district attorney's office were notified. A few days later, Terry McFadden was officially charged with 2 counts of child abuse.
All right, hold on. I want to show y'all something. Hold on. Shut on.
For sexual gratification, you violated a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old.
In 2019, a parent's world crumbled when their 4-year-old child was rushed to the hospital with injuries no child should ever bear. What should have been a routine visit turned into a nightmare as doctors uncovered the horrifying truth. The child had been sexually abused.
This court is so sick and tired of seeing adults ruin and abuse children. These are literally just one step from being babies.
With tears in her eyes, the mother pieced together the only moments her child had been out of her sight. Time spent under the care of their trusted babysitter. As the investigation intensified, law enforcement zeroed in on the sole man living at the babysitter's home, a figure shrouded in suspicion. On the day the mother delivered the news that her child was too ill to visit, the stage was set for a confrontation that would peel back the layers of deceit and reveal a darkness hidden in plain sight. This is the interrogation.
So, hold on a minute. Hold on. So I was so glad that the judge, I wanted y'all to see the beginning of that. I was so glad that the judge did that. Now I just want to go back and read you this for those just coming in and all that stuff, and those who were in who still had questions. Terry J. McFadden, age 70 years old, who ran an in-home daycare in Grandview Heights, Ohio, was sentenced to 22 years in prison on March 3rd, 2020. This sentencing followed his guilty plea of 2 counts of RAPE. So he was charged with RAPE. The charges stemmed from incidents that occurred at the daycare where McFadden sexually abused 2 juvenile females, ages 4 and 6 years old. He was also classified as a Tier 3 sex offender, requiring him to register with the county sheriffs every 90 days for the rest of his life after his release from prison. However, again, he won't see the light of day because, as I told y'all earlier, he's not up for parole. So he was already 70 when he got sentenced to 22 years. Anybody that can live that long, let me know, because I need what they got. Just saying. Just saying. These people that do this, and again, will he ever even make it in there? I doubt it. Now, what I want to tell you is, also, it's crucial to understand that child abuse is never the child's fault. There's no justification at all whatsoever for such behavior. These predators, they groom children, they try to gain their trust, they manipulate them into silence, and they make it even more difficult for them to ever come forward. They want to blame them, but it is never, ever, ever their fault. They want to shame them, blame them into not coming forward. But it is not their fault. If you think you're being hurt or a child is being hurt, please report it. And absolutely, Bama Cat, there is no cure for these sick individuals. So as disgusting and as hard as this was to watch, I did feel it was necessary to bring out. I appreciate you all being here with me today. Thank you. I know it was hard. Thank you, Raymond, for sending this to me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Anybody who has a child, please believe your child. Please. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you for the membership. If y'all got this membership, please thank Raymond. Thank you so much. And welcome to Smiley Squad. But if you have a child, please believe that child. Never make your child feel uncomfortable or like you don't believe them. Talk to them and listen to them. Put your child first. I hope y'all have a beautiful, wonderful day. And we'll see you out here on the streets. That's right. Protect your children. Have a great day. Love y'all. Bye.